Everybody can have dignity and respect, everybody. But you know, it's not all the time that this is carried out. Sometimes hatred is carried out by people of various members of the community. We're here to tell you that we hate nobody.
Acceptance. What about acceptance?
What do you? I accept you. You're here. You want to shake my hand? What did I say?
But why do you need a microphone?
So that people can hear the good news of Jesus Christ.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a Christian pastor by the name of David Lynn, who was arrested for quote unquote disturbing the peace after simply preaching the gospel of Christ outside in Toronto, Canada. Now, I got to back up a little bit here to explain what's happening, to give you some context, and to quote unquote unpack it, as the cool kids would say. Now, first of all, this particular area of Toronto is known as Gay Village. David Lynn and the ministries he was with, Torch of Christ and also Christ Forgiveness, they went to the area to preach outside, and within 5 minutes, before they really got started, they were instantly surrounded by members of the LGBTQIA community that live in this area. I mean, the area is like rainbow flags everywhere, so you know where you at. They came there, immediately surrounded them, and then it kind of became a confrontation, not a violent one from what I saw. And if you want to see the full live stream of the incident so you can understand what's happening and see it with your own two eyes, I'll place that in the box. But from what I saw, the pastor was just trying to preach tolerance, love, acceptance. He was not judging them for being gay or anything like that, because the news media will have you believe that David Lynn went down to the gay area of Toronto to bash them, talking about, you know, homosexuals are, you know, sinners, F words are sinners, this, that, and the third. It wasn't really like that. You may see a clip from certain news outlets where he says homosexuals are sinners, but just 1 microsecond before that, just one little breath before that, in the same sentence with that, he also said heterosexuals are sinners. He said everybody is a sinner, but the media, they don't want to play that. It was funny. I was watching Global News. I think that's a Canadian outlet. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the box. But they were playing that particular sentence I was referencing. They played the part where he said heterosexuals are sinners, but the problem was the commentator was speaking and the volume was ducked down. It was lower than the commentator's voice, the newscaster. And right after he said that, that's when you heard crystal clear, without any kind of lowered audio or the newscaster speaking, homosexuals are sinners. You see how they do?
A street preacher who made a stop in Toronto's Church and Wellesley neighborhood says he was the victim of an assault after being arrested.
Every homosexual has sin. And sin is when we violate the laws of God.
So they're trying to make him appear to be some kind of inflammatory person. That's not the case. Second of all, he did not just go to this gay area of Toronto and that's it. In a kind of news conference of sorts, after everything happened, he said that he went to all parts of Toronto.
Strategically choose the village. Clearly, it's the gay village in Toronto.
Like I said, we're on a Toronto tour. So just before then, we were at Kensington Market. We were at a high school. I forgot the name of it. The day prior, we were at Sherbourne and Queen, reaching out to the homeless community. And so we're going all throughout Toronto to all 22 districts of Toronto, sharing the gospel to everybody.
And I guess he had got arrested and released. And they're asking, okay, what you going to do now? He's like, well, I'm going to continue my tour. I'm going to go to the other parts of Toronto I was not able to go due to me being interrupted. Okay. And then they're talking about, well, it was the first week or first day of Pride. He's like, look, I don't know anything about that. I'm just coming to preach the gospel. I'm not trying to be antagonistic. I'm all about love. And I saw the stream for myself. He was shaking hands and he was talking about, do you tolerate me? I tolerate you. I tolerate everybody. Everybody has flaws. Everybody's imperfect. So I don't see where there's an actual problem here. Now, the whole thing about disturbing the peace, I don't know how Canadian laws work, because if he were to do that over here in the States, I don't think that would be disturbing the peace, because especially like in a place like New York. You got the Hebrew Israelites, you know, the guys, that's right, all this, that, and the third. They're out there on the street corners every day screaming, hollering, everything else from the Bible. Okay. Now, what they say is much more inflammatory than anything I saw in that live stream, the pieces of it that I saw. What I saw in the live stream was not inflammatory at all. It's only inflammatory to those who don't like Christians. And that is the key here. That's what it's all about. It's about an anti-Christian sentiment. And also, you think that this guy is weak, that he can't really protect himself. So you want to get up in his personal space. He was assaulted. There were a couple of times he was just trying to walk down a particular path. People were blocking him. They're throwing the gay flag up and trying to block people from seeing him. They touching him, getting in his personal space. Now, if that were the Hebrew Israelites, I don't think that would be going on. And I can guarantee you, if it were an Islamic group out there preaching from the Quran, it wouldn't be no touching. It wouldn't be no shouting down. It wouldn't be any of that. Okay, they would be allowed to be out there saying whatever they want to say, regardless of whether it was hateful or not hateful, which was the case with David Lynn and his ministries. He did not have a hateful message. He was not trying to target the gay community. It was all about love. If you're going to do a tour of Toronto, why skip certain places? Why be exclusive? You want to be inclusive. Now, I don't know anything about their ministries aside from what I just saw on the stream. You know, I have no clue. All I can do is just judge an action based on the action and then the reaction from the locals in the area. And what I saw was the LGBT squad not liking Christianity, being bigoted towards Christianity. It's a weird thing. I think the reason why people don't like Christianity is because it's seen as the white man's religion or the dominant religion in white areas or white countries, which it doesn't make any sense logically. Just, you know, from a logical person, it doesn't make any sense because anybody can be a Christian. You could be a Christian, Filipino, Hispanic, African, Asian, European. You could be from a different planet. You can be disabled, transabled, whatever you want to call yourself. Anybody can be a Christian. It's not a race specific or culture specific or region specific or language specific thing. Okay. But for some reason, the SJW sees Christianity as some kind of, you know, white based religion. It makes no sense. Christianity and Islam come from the general same region. Islam is not seen that way. It's just a really weird thing. All over the world, you have right around the same amount of adherence to Christianity and Islam. But Christianity is generally seen as a bad thing by those on the extreme left, but Islam is fine. Even in places where they put homosexuals to death, that's okay. That's not really cause for concern or any kind of outrage or protest from these same individuals that were preaching against David Lynn, who was out there just preaching the gospel of Christ in a very calm, rational, and reasonable way. As I close, I want to say this. David Lynn did nothing wrong. The ministries involved did nothing wrong. Those who were wrong in this situation were those who were out there harassing that man, touching on that man, invading his space and not really trying to hear a positive message. Now, there were some, to give credit, there were some in the LGBT community that supported what David Lynn was saying. They appreciated the fact that he came down there, talked to them, and was not a bigot or hateful or anything like that. He was speaking to them the same way he would speak to everybody else. And they appreciated that, so they sided with him. But there were some people who didn't like what he was talking about. And I got to say one more thing. Thank God for America. We have freedom of speech a little bit still. We got to fight to keep that because I'm not trying to see anybody get locked up for simply preaching the word of God. So what do you think? Do you think that this was a simple attack on Christianity and nothing more? Okay, if it was Islam, it wouldn't have happened. If it were anything else, it wouldn't have happened. Or do you think that David Lynn was wrong here to go to a gay place to quote unquote antagonize them? If that's your case, then why would he not go there but go everywhere else in Toronto? See, The news media will have you believe he just targeted that one area and he was out there just screaming on people, hating on people. It wasn't like that. He was there as part of a total city tour to get the same message to everybody so nobody's excluded. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.